Hello everyone, good evening. How are you all? I found some time. I thought I'll come and chat with you. So today we are kind of looking over some friends' request as to review what I wrote in that book, Modern Challenges and Ancient Solutions. What are the challenges that we usually face, and what are the solutions that we may derive? So that's an interesting question. So we went from usually people have three different things, right? One is the work, and second is the relationships, and third is their health. These three things a lot of people send me questions about. Okay, what about what kind of stress and burnout they're experiencing, and what kind of bosses they are experiencing, and what kind of dissatisfaction from the work, or not able to balance their family life and work life, or they may just feel like they're stuck in a rut and they're not able to get out. And some people work a very long time and then they don't have anything to show for it, and so they are kind of not fulfilled in that sense, not fulfilled in the work and also not fulfilled in their life, right? So that kind of work related questions come to me because I train people on how to deal with uh, general our 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 work and so all the pressures that we feel, right? So there is a way to really counter all the problems at work is to just understand the pressures and then see whether we can improve our capacity, our lot, to deal with them. Resilience, right? That's what I train people, and also I call that enhancing the human being. Different names for the same things, right? But then different names reach different people, which is okay. But the main thing is to help them be really resilient and able to work through any challenges. Uh, so that's really important for them, right? Then if you take uh, relationships, their relationship with the family, with the spouse, with the kids, with their parents, with the spouse mainly. A lot of questions related to that, and we usually identify relationship problems more on the side of the ego. Either the man is trying to suppress the lady, or the lady asserting too egotistically. So people react very badly to that, and so it's not one side problem usually. It's both ego clash, right? And that is where we address that too. And of course, health problems. I think that's the main thing, right? They have a pain, they have a discomfort, they are not feeling good, or they have disease underlying. They are not able to control them, and they are having all these outcomes that are very poor, and they're having complications from their chronic diseases, either because of the bad diet or is it because of the bad uh, lifestyle where they don't really take care of themselves and rest and sleep well and all. So these are common problems. So I was wondering, anybody has any idea about what is the challenge that you want to deal with or dealing with? If suppose you have a challenge and you have done something and you have overcome that, I think it's a good time for us to talk about it. So it's not like a something uh, something written there. It's not that. It's just exploring and understanding our level of wisdom or whatever that we either understood from other people or we gained with our life experience. Uh, uh, that's the important thing. The experiential knowledge from in posing a question and really going into it and then putting our own mind, our own intelligence to it, that has a lot of value because it is not our opinion, not our self-righteousness, more like our investigation into the truth of the matter, right? Then we'll say, oh yeah, I can really um, grasp that and I have learned the lesson of the life. And now I'm going to go and apply that. Okay. So it's a good thing to gather together and explore issues of life like that rather than one person being authority and the other person is listening and learning. That's kind of old fashioned, but now we invite people to explore things on their own and deal with this. Okay, let me see. Friend is coming. David. Okay, welcome, David. Hello, David. Hello.
Hello. Yeah, good evening.
How are you?
I'm doing okay. How are you?
I'm fine. I'm great, actually. So,
Okay.
what do you have to say about challenges in modern life, David?
What's
Can
that?
can you speak up a little bit? You're low volume.
Yeah, that's just because the kids are asleep right now.
Okay.
So, what was the question?
Well, everybody has some challenges in the life. We were exploring them. So I was wondering whether you can name anything that you find as challenging. Either you have overcome or you are in the point of overcoming it. Any
Uh,
challenge.
well, the hardest challenge in life is being a parent.
Uh-huh.
That's the most hardest challenge. Being a father,
Oh, being a father, yeah,
being a father,
yeah. That's a challenge.
being
Yeah, yeah.
that's the challenge.
I think it's a nice challenge, but also important challenge, David. Yeah. I have
Because
raised two
being able
kids.
to handle two kids alone.
Yeah. How old are they?
You raise two kids?
Yeah. I raised two kids.
Yeah,
How old are your kids?
it's not easy for me raising two kids.
Yeah, yeah,
Well, Simon is plus Simon is 12 and Jay is
yeah,
18. So it's not to handle.
yeah. Well, parenting is an
This is,
important
to be
job.
honest, I've never really tried to share before because I'm new here, so
Yeah.
I
No,
don't really know a lot about this show.
yeah,
So
yeah.
this is my first time actually coming up live here.
Okay, very good, very good. I think you will like this. If you want to interact with people, if you want to learn from, some coaches, some physicians, some philosophers, so many different
Yeah,
people
I
are
would love
here.
that. I would love that.
Yeah. So,
Yeah,
what do you find most challenging in parenting,
so
David?
you that's a good question.
What do you find most challenging in parenting?
Well, it's actually keeping up with work and
Yeah,
having time to take care of the kid.
yeah, yeah, that is true. Because mother is very important in the early part of it, and both are important. But then, if you have to work and do this, these days both parents are doing it. That's why they both are getting stressed out. So that's also there. Um,
Yeah,
w-
true.
See, the early part of childhood of the kids is so important. We should be available to them. Do you get to go to the gardens and parks or McDonald's, things like
Yeah,
that?
like the daycare.
Yeah,
That's so true because there are a lot of things because raising a child isn't that easy because um, children they learn new things every day, and when you can't get them with one way, you have to look for another way to get to them.
Yeah.
So there are a lot of things challenging because
Yeah.
when you have work and you're working about 6 hours a day,
Mm.
8 hours a day, you never have time for the kids. And I'm saying you having someone to look after them
Yeah.
isn't actually you taking care of them
Mm. Yeah.
because
I think that's one of the debatable questions in United States. They don't give the leave and paid leave for the parents, and they were proposing that they would like to. In Europe, they do give that paid leave for the parents. I think they should, especially young single parents. They need some help. That way they can work, but work limited and take care of the kids. Yeah.
okay, that would be nice because but they're still going on a foot for the innocent and Trump.
Hmm.
Uh, they're still setting out their political matter, but I'm
Yeah.
sure they're gonna look into that.
Yeah.
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 So it was very nice coming up here, and thank you.
Yeah. It's nice meeting you, David, and
I shall
hope.
leave my question.
Yeah, we did talk about the parenting and schooling the other day. So if you want to go back and then look at the talks, they may be good. That's what you can do in
Okay.
this app. You can go back to anybody and then review their talks in the past, and then what you like, you can listen to them.
All right.
Yeah, and also
All
you
right.
can
Yeah, thank you
DM.
very much.
Yeah, thank you for coming up. That's an important role David presented, being a parent. How are we going to deal with the parent when the parent is single and he had to really do that? Okay, so thank you, David, for coming up and giving them a topic for me to talk about. You see, the parenting really starts from the even before conception. In ancient wisdom, the couple have to be psychologically, socially, and mentally, physically, they should be ready to have a new life coming in. So the ancient system was they kind of really pampered the girl that got pregnant and made her do everything that is very comfortable for her psychologically, not to give any stress for her. The circumstances, the support of the family, and everything oriented towards her because she is bringing a new life into the world. And so there is science where the moods and uh, the thoughts and emotions that she goes through will affect the kid also. That's why they want to keep her up in mood and not stressed out and really help the girl feel like a special. Even now, I see when the first the baby shower is a much more meaningful in the ancient tradition where they really pamper the girl and ask all blessings from all gods, things like that. They do puja, they do a lot of it. They did that even for my wife when she was carrying our son first pregnancy, and she had that festival done by our friends. That was nice, right? That happened, and now after she conceives and after she is pregnant, the things that she exposes the kid to listen to and all that, that also makes it, that's okay. Antargabha science that is kind of very special in yoga science. That may be too much for people, but then basically when you are pregnant, if you don't have the money problems, you don't have the a lack of support from the family, or you don't have the your own inner mental tensions and all that, you are much better off, right? So that's a big topic actually. So how do we welcome a new life into our life? How do we be aware of the things that can influence the kid? Of course, after the born, and then again, mother has to be close to the kid for a while, and father has to be too, but then more mother, right? So the European countries, many of them giving maternity leave, at least some time for them, paid maternity, so that they can go and take care of the kids. That is something I think here Democrats are fighting for. Hopefully, they will do that. That will be a wonderful help for the parents. And also, when you are a single parent, it is much harder on you. You have to earn the livelihood, and also you have to raise the kids, like David was describing. That's an important problem, challenge, right? So, how do we do it? Is we still have to take care of ourselves first. Like you take your oxygen first before you give it to the kid in the plane. Like that in life also, you take care of your self care, not selfishly, but in responsibly, and be ready for the challenges, and also consult parent groups, consult uh, parents of your own family in there. What are the things that you should be preparing for? So some kind of preparation will help too. And also there are so many government agencies that help you with aid, and that there's no problem taking it if you are really stressed about it. And uh, but some of the understanding of the parent in a deeper sense is warranted, I think. That I don't think people get very education about. What it is how do the kid respond to us? What kind of stimuli, what kind of things that you want to expose the kids to when they are really growing up? How about nature? How about beautiful music? How about loving people around? How about no violence, no negativity around? Those kind of things parents could strive for, so that the atmosphere for the kid will be uplifting, and really giving some valuable lessons of the life, indirectly, not by talking to them or other, but so how we behave around them, how we not engage in arguments in front of them, and how we really make sure that they have an activity that is really playful, at the same time maybe teachable, one thing or two. That kind of things are very important too. So there is a lot to say about how to be a single parent, and how challenging it is in there. For me, the fundamental thing is that you have a loving bond with the kid, right? So once you have that, everything else becomes secondary. Take care of your health, take care of the kid's health, but most important is how much time you are giving, instead of giving them, if you go on the phone, if you go on the TV, and then put a iPad in front of the kid. That is something people are doing. I think that's really, you are allowing these kids to be digitally addicted right from the age of 1 or 2, because it is a babysitter, and they don't understand how much attention span will go down, and down the line how the kids are going to be affected, right? That's not my prejudice or anything against this. I kind of have a lot of digital tools. I use them appropriately, but what I'm saying is we should think about how this digital exposure will have an effect on the kids' attention span, concentration, and down the line, learning ability and all. I mean, people are putting a lot of tools in front of the kids. They're thinking that they will learn a lot more by absorbing all the information. They hang things around the crib. They kind of do a lot of stuff, thinking that all that multi-stimuli thing is going to help them to go. No, you have to allow the brain to open up. You can do some fun, positive things and all that, but not putting them to learn lessons and everything right from the beginning, so that they can do well in math and eco science and all that. For example, take my own case. When I was growing up, I was not willing to go to school, and I didn't like it. I didn't want to go. So up until fifth grade, I used many excuses not to go, and my mom is very indulgent, and then she said, "Okay, let him take care of now." So I kind of you like a dumb kid because he's not going to school, he's not doing anything else. But I'm having the time of my life. I was on the trees, I was on the lakes and all that. I was enjoying with my friends and all that, right? Um, but then once I started fifth grade exam and got into high school, I was the top of the class. So maybe I was a late bloomer. But all kids are kind of late bloomers if you don't press and put them in one certain direction. And also, you have to have time as a parent to see what kind of tendencies the kid is displaying. Is it displaying a tendency to become a player, or an intellectual, or they will show you that they will be sitting down and writing, they'll be liking to read, or they want to play with the kids all the time, they want to swim better, and they are joyful when they're swimming. All those tendencies you can see, and then encourage those traits so that they can learn those things and enjoy them too. And finally the life lesson, where we want to do things that we enjoy, and we want to do things that is helpful for other people too. So that's a very important. My own case, my inclination to my son, who was singing foreign songs at the age of 2, and he's singing in a complete tune. So I thought he has the musicality. So we encouraged him, and he took up trumpet, and he excelled in that, and he enjoyed his entire tenure in the school. And now he's coming close to 28, 29, but he is a band teacher. He became band teacher at the age of 23, but that's because he was completely dedicated to trumpet. He would practice every day, irrespective of whatever activity. He has to do the practice. That's it. He'll take his trumpet, go into that basement, and he'll practice it. Nobody need to tell him because he liked it. He loved it. So that kind of observation of what kind of tendency, what kind of talents that the kids are, showing prevalence to, and encouraging that would be very good. I hope David is listening to that. If he listen to that, maybe he knows about this, and if he can pay attention to the kids, how they are growing, what they are displaying, then you can, turn them towards that. So if you is only concerned about how much money to make, how much technically they are going to be here, that would last long. But if he likes that, that's fine. But if he doesn't like that, then forcing him to thinking like he will have a better life making money, that's a big, big disease all over the world now. Everybody is like that. For example, my sister's daughter, she has a daughter of 18 years old. My sister's daughter is over 50 years old. She is very excellent. She's studying very well. And there in India, they look at the marks, how many marks you got out of 100. She got out of 100, 92. But the mom and the dad were unhappy because she did not get 95 or 96, so that she can go to much more bigger college and make more money. But the kid did wonderfully well, 92. And then she did enroll in a good college, and then she's doing cybersecurity now. So that is the tendency. What is the society is doing is to force these kids into taking professions they may not enjoy later on. And that's one of the reasons of the stress in life too. Big time stress, right? So parenting, raising the kids, and raising the kid so that we can prepare him for the universe, not just for the university. That's a part of it too. But then if you confine yourself only for that, later on they will not be able to do that, right? Let's see. Okay, Julie, yeah. So it's a kind of observing the tendencies the kids display. That would be wonderful, you know. Hi, Julie. Oh, what happened? Try again, Julie. It said the guest has just left. I'm sure trying to come up, and the app is misbehaving. So I would like to see uh, Julie's version of this. There you are. Let me, hopefully it will work now. Yeah, there it is. Hi, Julie.
Hello, Dr. Rao. How are you?
I am great. How are you?
I'm all right. I'm all right.
Yeah.
I one challenge
Yeah.
in modern life for me is to be able to feel freer,
Ah.
living an alternative lifestyle.
Mm.
The way that I live my life, as you know, I am studying at the minute, which is great, and it's taken me a long time, but that's fine. It doesn't matter how long it takes.
Yeah.
It's the joy of learning is fine.
Yeah.
But something that I often come across is I'm a house and pet sitter.
Mm.
It is my career. It is a choice where I exchange my integrity for caring for somebody's pet the way they will in their absence, giving it love, care, compassion, and looking after a house with kind of a sense of pride and respect.
Mm-hmm.
And this earns me a very little amount of money, but the amount of money that it earns me covers my needs.
Yeah.
It covers my needs. That's all I need to do is be dry, warm, fed, and in a space of safety.
Yeah.
Okay, that's all it needs to do. That's fine. But I have difficulty with people around me, especially family and acquaintances that have known me for a long time. They don't seem to be able to adapt to the changes that I've made in my life, and also the changes that I've made in the way that I perceive life and experience. And they kind of put towards me their fears for me. They kind of say, don't you really need to be a little bit more responsible? Don't you think it's time? I had a message actually yesterday from my daughter, and it said, don't you think it's time that you got somewhere to live and got yourself a normal job?
Yeah. I think that is the current trend, is to look at what you have and what you accumulated and all that. They don't look at inside how happy you are with the nature, how happy you are in the presence, and how happy you are sharing with people and making friends. Those are your inner riches. They don't see, Julie. You know,
Yeah.
the inner riches are much more important, because if you don't have that, even if you have some things, they do not matter, because people go to alcoholism or depression, anxiety, things like that. But this way that you are doing, you are paying attention to the nature, you are trying to be in the moment, and you are to be joyful. That is precious, don't you think?
Yeah. It is, for me, it kind of feels as if I'm taking a step back into a world that was at one time. And now the world seems to be very active in accumulation.
Yeah. All the time. That is the thing. All the time. Yeah. You know what? Let me tell you about what is called moksha in Sanskrit. That is about the liberation. Okay.
Yeah.
So that you are looking for that too. I am looking for that too. That is what it is. Because we get stuck in this life, and then we kind of think this is everything. The pressure from the peers, the pressure from the friends, and everything, that you have to be this way, you have to make this much money, you have to be having all these experiences and all that. That may cost a lot of money, but you by yourself, you are with the tree, and you're sitting down, you're enjoying the weather, and then you're enjoying the company of the tree. That looks like a madness for them.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it does. It
yeah,
does. It's like,
yeah.
eh,
For them,
why
they're like, I say, look
it's
at you, you are missing out on something, Julie. That's what they want to tell you.
yeah, it's like, why are you not striving?
Yeah, yeah,
Because you believe, well, a lot of people believe, not everybody,
yeah,
but a lot of people believe that they have to use this experience of living
yeah,
to strive all the time. So they're kind of working from a space that they haven't got, so they need to get.
yeah,
And I see that as a trap.
yeah, yeah. It is a
That's
trap.
how I view it, you see.
It is weird like that too. Ancient systems, what they said was, whatever you do, you'll have to pay for it later in the next life. So you better live properly here.
Oh, I'm going to admit the most of this.
Almost is like what you sow, you're going to get.
Yeah,
So don't sow bad tendencies in this life. So that's how it's called continuous life after life of misery.
yeah,
And having liberation from that kind of circle of life is they call moksha, and is very valued in ancient cultures. But there's something though. Even if I take my life, my people I coach, the burnout doctors or nurses or whatever, right? Stressed out IT people, any number of people. See, they are not happy to make the money. They strive for it, they worked very hard, but they're not satisfied after all that money. Some are
yeah,
millionaires, Julie, they really made a lot of money.
yeah,
And that is one thing they feel uncomfortable about is I feel there's something missing, something missing, something void in my life. And then other
mm,
people who go from desire to desire, drinking, wandering, all sorts of things they do. And at the end of it, all these diseases are fed up of it. I will need a peace in my mind. I need some joy in my mind and all that. So that's
yeah,
why the ancient said, this is making money, they call that artha. That you have to do it in a right way, that is the dharma. And then all the desires, they call this kama. That is also you have to do right way. The dharma, artha, kama. Whatever money you make, whatever accumulations you even if you think like I'm such a intellectual, I can write things, that's also an accumulation, right? The thing with they say is the fulfillment is not permanent. Whereas if you transcend your chattering mind and establish in the joyful presence that you experience truly, and that's very valuable. And the transcending that mind, that is the liberation.
yeah, it is. And it is so difficult to
Yeah,
describe to people
yeah,
that sense of liberation that you have. It's a peaceful place.
yeah,
It's a blissful place
yeah.
where you feel, you could be anywhere
Yeah.
and you can have as little as possible.
You see, the fact
And
is, fact
you're
is,
not carrying it around with you. You're just not having to worry about it, caretake for it, and stuff
yeah.
like that.
You know,
It's very liberating.
Julie,
And
you have to walk on this spiritual liberation by yourself. That's the problem.
yes,
You see, where our parents, our family members, our friends, and everybody, they are looking at us through their own lens, and they
that's
want us.
right.
They want us to do just like they did. Like for example, I like my aloneness. I like going into my own inner self and be quiet and then enjoy that and also relate to the world from that. Right? So
Yes.
I do very well with relating, but I don't have to do whatever they say. Suppose they say, let's go a movie and enjoy this movie. I may not go there because I have more things to do. My silent meditations, my enjoying the nature, my enjoying the people, all that is there. So I would rather do that. Suppose I would rather talk with you and say, okay, Julie, we are sharing something. That will be
Yes.
that will be joyful for me than to looking at a stupid movie. You know, and and they don't understand. They think, what is this? He's missing out on something. I'm not missing out of the joy that I am experiencing. And you guys are missing out on that. I will tell them. They think it is nuts, but this is true. And that is
Yeah.
where the ancient way of simple living and higher thinking helped them to touch that joy And like, you can describe that too when you are alone with the nature, when you are relating to the butterflies or flowers and all that, how joyful you are.
Yeah, I kind of feel at home. There's
Yeah,
a feeling of real grounded
yeah,
solidity in it.
yeah.
That,
That's where you have to see this social pressure as something of a ignorant people doing it.
mm,
Ignore in a sense they don't have the taste of this eternity.
yeah, it's like, in a way that I think it's okay to observe it
Yeah,
and to allow them to do their journey
yeah.
the way that they are going to do it. They'll learn things in their own time,
That is
and
true.
sometimes they might not. But
That's
that
very
is
true
their,
because everybody has their own journey. So let them be. But we are talking about them putting pressure on us.
yes,
Yeah.
yeah,
So
yeah. It's an interesting thing,
yeah,
but it's a lonely road.
yeah.
Actually,
And
it is a lonely road. So it is good to be, uh,
you know,
kind of
for me,
content
I would
with.
call that aloneness. I don't call loneliness
Yes, yes,
because
that's what he said.
yeah,
It's a place of aloneness does
yeah.
not mean
I
it does
know,
not
I
have to
know
be
you
a
enjoy that, and you told me about
yes,
that so many times, So
yeah,
that is the
yeah,
privilege. That is the thing that other people will not have. You don't have to have any things. You are just take a pet and give it love, and you will be ecstatic, right?
yeah,
That is the inner joy that you are experiencing, and that is priceless.
yeah,
What is
yeah.
this?
I agree.
Yeah, what is
I
this
agree.
modern life compared to ancient life is? Modern life wants us to go outward and do everything. But the
Yeah,
ancients had this privilege of discovering joy within themselves.
yeah, and I affiliate with
Yeah,
the infants.
yeah, definitely.
When I hear of the stories of history at the very beginnings,
Yeah,
the ancient civilizations, the quiet ones,
yeah,
they always seem to me to be the strongest.
yeah.
You know,
Christian contemplatives, they were kind of doing that for years and years, and they were monks. They were going to the single rooms and then staying there for years and years. I will
yeah,
tell you something very interesting that you would probably understand is they divided life in ancient India into four phases. First phase is first 25 years is where they call that childhood, right? We all know childhood, where your job is to learn and enjoy yourself and grow up and all that, grow up in physically, intellectual and all that. And then next 25 years is about making a living and giving support to the very young ones and also the old ones. And then uh, from 50 to 75, give back to society. Okay. And then after that old age, you go retire into forest and go and do it this meditation, find out yourself, live with your own inner self and all that. So these
yeah,
four, they really followed them to some extent.
yeah, yeah,
So I'm like in that phase, the last phase where I can sit alone and I can go into myself and happy. But then they said, you do that, but once you have really touched that inner self, come out and help the world for the welfare of the world. You work.
yeah. It's like sampling it, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's not a sampling, it's exampling it
Yes.
without really
Yeah.
shouting about it or anything.
Yeah.
Just by you doing it, you
Yeah.
are exampling that there is another option.
Exactly. Whatever you do, only see you have to be the change you are preaching. Otherwise, it is not authentic, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah, exactly that. Yeah,
Yeah. But I think you are
that's it.
lucky that you are mostly in the present, mostly in touch with the nature, as I know you, as I talked to you
Yeah,
before. And you are able to enjoy that aloneness. And other people may not be in that mood or, grown up to take that up. Once they take it up, then they'll say, oh, yeah, this is very good.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I do have friends who come and visit,
Yeah.
and they kind of are surprised by how well I am thriving
Yeah.
in the alternative style.
Yeah.
So that's quite funny.
Actually, the current style that they propagate is causing the problems in the world. That's where I
Yeah.
kind of come down on that, because we are almost extinguishing our planet
Yeah, I know.
because of all the consumerism, all the accumulation of things. So,
And that's kind of why it's good to example an alternative,
Yeah.
because then, you know,
yeah,
when people look at you thriving and being peaceful,
Yeah.
and yet they pick up on the energy of you, and it's pleasant.
exactly.
It shows there's alternative ways. You don't have to be destructive or
Yeah.
powerful in these ways. You can
Exactly.
be powerful in other ways. It can really affect.
See, the only thing I regret is this inner joy is not really identified many, so that other people also can go and take a look at it. It's not given as much as the outward pressures and all the things that people do, which are really depleting to you at the end of it. You go to 10 parties in a row, you get tired of it.
It's kind of like a guarded secret
Yeah.
in a way.
Yeah.
You know, that's how I feel about it. Is with the many places that I have
Yeah.
been to when I'm doing this pet sitting and stuff,
Mm.
I've come across some very diverse kind of spheres of living. Let's
Yeah.
put it that way.
Mm.
And I find that a certain sort of comfortable people tend
Yeah.
to be more peaceful,
Yes.
and they don't then chase after these like utilities and like the latest trainers or the latest Game Boy, or they just do not bother with it.
Yeah. They don't have to compare because they are really in a land of joy. So they will
Yeah,
be.
that's
And the
right.
peace. Yeah, and the
Yeah.
peace too. They touch the peace itself.
Yeah, it's a completely different way of experiencing this world that we're living on.
Yeah.
It's
See,
quite interesting.
it's not that we have become superhuman beings or we're above other people. No, we are just living inwardly and happy.
But the thing is, whilst I noticed that they lived their daily existence in that way, some of the conversations and the focus that they give are to what I would call trivial things.
Yeah. They get mad if you say trivial because that's valuable for them, right?
Yeah. So they are doing it, but just in a different way, and it's quite nice to kind of notice that.
Yeah.
We took a lot of attention to things that we really don't need to be doing.
When I was talking like this on Clubhouse and other people, some guys came and said, "You must be minting millions with all this wisdom and everything." I said, "I don't charge anything. I just talk to people. That's it, They said I was stupid. I don't have really brains to make a lot of money. I said,
I'm not good at making money, and to be honest with you, I'm happy enough without it.
That's it.
I'm happy enough to choose an alternative way, and the alternative way for me is bartering a story for a meal. This is a great way of living. It's a lovely way of living when you discover that you might have skills.
That's it. Joyful things. Joyful things. That is what you are getting, not the money. Yeah, exactly.
It can really give you the sustenance that you need. That's the difference.
But you become the source of that after a while, Julie.
Yeah.
You see, not only you get the sustenance for a while, but after that, you become the source of that life, love, and joy that you can give to people.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for having me on. I'm going to go to bed now because it's 4:15 in the morning.
Yeah. You are 6 hours ahead of me, so you're way into that.
Thank you so much for having me on. It's always lovely to come on and talk to you.
Same here, Trudy. Nice talking to you. Julie.
Speak to you soon. Bye.
Bye. Yeah. So Julie is talking about that inner joy and being calm, being quiet, being really with what life is, what she's. I see the joyful thing she said, pets, and also reading stories and all that. Those are all joyful things. They won't come just with money. They come with giving your heart and your energy completely to the task, and then really enjoying them, just doing them and enjoying them. So that's kind of not seen kindly in this money making world and worshipping dollar, right? So they said you are worshipping dollars, then you are demons. That was something like a spiritual joke or something, but in a way, it is not a very constructive energy to uh, uplift life and uplift happiness and joy and quietness and all that. Can you imagine when your mind is still, when your mind is quiet, that serenity in in the mind, that quietness, is very very uh, valuable, and then you can really feel that, and once you taste that eternity, that joy that is there all the time, then automatically your mind stops. That's one thing that people can experience for themselves. So usually people are caught up in this life's race, and they're tired of it, and then they're kind of not given enough sustenance to their inner being. That's when they have this stress and burnout and all that. All the material things, all the things that they accumulated, all the experiences they have, they don't release them from that void and alone and loneliness and all that. They feel like they're cut off from everybody, even though they're among people. But when you realize that you are with everybody and everybody is you, oneness, where is the loneliness? You don't feel like you're cut off from anybody. And then you could go inward and calm your mind and find those existing treasures. I call them diamonds. That is I mean, just a word to express what it is, but it is a really useful thing to be touching that peace itself, touching that bliss itself, and that is that touching the awakened thing, really very good. Okay, so it's a kind of always looking towards inward, inside, versus going after things outside. It's not a crime to go outside, but you are losing something as a human being you could otherwise have touched it. But once you touch it and then you go and work of anything, that would be wonderful too. Okay. So the challenge in modern life is, suppose you are more inward, more aloneness, more enjoying nature, or joyful things like taking care of pets and taking care of reading stories to people. And she is living in joy. Joy is living in joy when she is doing that. So that kind of things are looked down as because they are not making much money, they are not valuable. They are not valuable in the sense of that money making, but who cares for that when you have this inner joy? I think one time Krishnamurti said, "Why would you care for why would you care for a candle when you have the sun itself?" So that kind of thing is within us, and that's why we don't have to go for artificial light outside, artificial pleasures and all that. Anyway, this looks like a prejudicial opinion on our part, but then I get excited when I see other people who are enjoying the inwardness and the quietness. And I know Julie, she enjoys the nature. She enjoys experiencing things that are really joyful. And you heard from her that she takes care of the pets for somebody, and she loves the pets, and she takes care of them. And also, she reads stories to people and enjoys that. All that is, I think, is a very nice life, quiet and retired at the same time, going inward. This is the stages I described. They call them Balyam, which is up to 25 years, which is the childhood, where you are invited to land and not earn, but learn things and explore different arts, different kind of things that you can learn, and then you develop skills to make a living also. And if you do that, then next 25 to 50 years you do that, uh, because the system was kids did not work, old people did not work, only the middle-aged people work, right? So young people to middle-aged. So their job is to, because they enjoyed the childhood, don't have to earn it all, and then they're going to be supported by the middle-aged group people when they get old. That system worked better. Now it is all going to dogs, so this kind of system. But that system worked very well for them because the people who are healthy and young and energetic are able to work and make what is needed to survive, right? And then after 50 years, 50 to 75, they wanted to help the society which brought them here and give back whatever they can do to the society, and then last quarter of the life, you want to explore the world. Why I'm here? What am I? What is going on? Those kind of fundamental existential questions are explored by going to the forest, being alone, and completely relieved of all these money-making activities, and then they were able to explore themselves and learn from their own experiential knowledge of these truths. Not making a theory, but actually calming the mind, turning themselves inwardly, and then finding that peace, happiness, and bliss, and all that. Okay. So that's why I kind of paid a lot of attention to ancient system, and that some of those things are possible for us. We could retire at some one point, and at least in the retirement, you can look into this exploring our own inner self. That is a lot of work because most of the people spoil their mind by building up a lot of thoughts in their mind. But from the beginning, if you just use the knowledge for outward things, but inward things, you are kind of use it to calm down. Okay, few minutes people have to do that, and also reflect on whatever philosophies you have understood. That would be wonderful. I'm telling you, this is called Sat Chit Anand. That means existence, consciousness, and bliss all rolled into one. That is our real self. And once you not describe it, but experience it, feel it, touch it with intuition, then your intellect works much better, and you will be able to do lots of things in joy, and you will be able to ups and downs of the life much better with the resilience. Okay, so uh, there are so many challenges that we are facing in the modern world because mostly it's all more like it doesn't know where we are going, what we are doing, and that's why it happens like that. Okay, so all right. Anybody else has anything? I think we're almost coming on to the 1 hour mark, and I'm happy to come and present a question like this so that people can come with their own challenges and tell me what they're doing, what they're not. The two guests I had, they got very fundamental issues, parenting, and also how do you really withstand the pressures of the outward, materialistic world places on when you are really being spiritual. Not that you become an extraordinary person, but you becoming a more joyful and peaceful person. That's all, and that's the way to go about it. This rush to make things and then think that I'm rich by them, they may go in a cyclone in a second, right? So, so thank you, and hopefully this provoked you to answer some questions. If you want to come up, this is the last chance. Otherwise, we will close it in a couple of minutes, and I will see you in the morning again anyway for the morning routine, where we are going to get our body, our mind, and our heart get ready for the work and not go there and then get all sorts of reactions and then really stress out ourselves. That's what is happening in the world. So I kind of reverse engineered what is going on with these people who are seeking for help for the stress and burnout, and maybe give them something proactive wellness tidbits that they can do in the morning, and thereby they can develop this inner resilience I'm talking about, like a capacity to deal with situations, capacity to deal with the roles. Mostly it depends upon how we react. Okay, deep breathing helps you not to react that much, and deep breathing helps you not to generate the stress hormones. Okay, so the whole morning, if you look at it, it's being awareness. That means being in the present and doing that in alignment of the body, breath, and breathe. Okay, if you do that along with me, hopefully that will help you to deal with any amount of stress or anything that you're dealing with. But if you want more details, you can always DM me. I'll be happy to talk to you and take you from where you are to where you want to go, just by knowledge. Okay, this is what's called Gnana Yoga. Gnana Yoga means you know things and you kind of dispel your ignorance about that thing by knowing, and then you kind of end up in that union of the knowledge. That is the yoga. That's why through knowledge you are coming to the stage. That's why it's called Gnana Yoga. This is a very tough thing if you put those terms and all that, but if you really look at it, if you examine it, do we know a solution to this challenge? First of all, you have to be aware of the challenge. And then, do I know the solution for this challenge? If not, is there some way to find out and then explore that? And all answers are within us. That's one thing people don't realize, is all answers are within us. Once you find that answer, that is yours. You have discovered it, and that can work much better. So this is called more like an experiential knowledge. That means you experience it, and out of that, this comes. Not that you are a major figure or anything, because you are blessed to have that quietness of the mind and able to purify your heart with doing unselfish work. And then, with a purified heart and a focused mind, you turn inward and find the answers within yourself. That is the Gnana Yoga. Okay. So, all right. So this is now 58 minutes almost. Okay. Uh, Thank you. Thank you all for coming up, and I will see you back again tomorrow morning. Okay. Bye bye.